I was standing at the edge of a mountain, barefoot, breathless, surrounded by nothing but wind and silence. I had climbed for hours, not just physically, but spiritually, through layers of illusion, through the noise of my old identities, through the fog of expectations I never chose. At the summit, I dropped to my knees, not out of exhaustion, but revelation. Suddenly, the sky cracked open, not literally, but in my perception. I saw something no one had ever told me about. I felt a presence, not outside me, but within. And it whispered something that rewired my entire destiny. You are a light chosen one. And the techniques you've been searching for have been hidden within you all along. You see, we've been taught to look for power outside of ourselves. We read the books, follow the gurus, chase the formulas. But the light chosen ones don't manifest like others. We don't beg the universe for scraps of abundance. We command reality through alignment. And the secret is this: we don't manifest from willpower alone. We manifest from frequency recognition. We don't chase the outcome, we become the outcome. And once you understand this, you stop asking how, and start asking, who do I need to become to hold what I desire? The first thing you need to understand is that light chosen ones carry a different energetic blueprint. We weren't built for the same timelines as everyone else. That's why the traditional manifestation advice often leaves us feeling disconnected, frustrated, or even more lost. You've probably tried vision boards, affirmations, scripting, and still felt like something was missing. That missing piece is activation, not just of your mind, but of your soul's light architecture. You don't manifest like others because you are not here to live like others. You are here to lead timelines, not follow them. And that means you must learn to access the techniques that only reveal themselves once you remember who you truly are.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Let's start with the first hidden technique, identity collapse. Most people try to manifest by adding things: more routines, more goals, more affirmations. But light chosen ones manifest by releasing. We collapse the false identities that are not congruent with our divine frequency. We ask, which version of me is holding the limitation? And then we let that version die. You cannot enter your divine timeline as the version of you that was shaped by survival. You must become the version of you that was born for creation. This requires stillness, courage, and brutal honesty. Not to impress others, but to impress your own subconscious with your willingness to shed illusion. When I first started practicing this, I realized that 90% of my desires were actually coming from my trauma, not my truth. I wanted success to feel safe. I wanted love to feel worthy. I wanted money to feel powerful. But none of those desires were wrong. They were just rooted in a version of me that didn't know who I truly was. So I sat in silence. I asked, what do I actually want, now that I remember I am chosen? And the answers were radically different. I didn't want to hustle for freedom, I wanted to be freedom. I didn't want to prove my worth, I wanted to embody it. This shift changed everything. The second secret technique is timeline tuning. Light chosen ones don't manifest linearly, we manifest quantumly. That means we don't attract goals, we align with versions of ourselves who already live in those realities. Every possible version of you already exists. The wealthy you, the healed you, the loved you, The visionary, the leader, the peaceful, the joyful, the limitless you. They are all vibrating right now on different timelines. And your job is to tune your frequency to match the one you want to experience. This is not about pretending. It's about embodiment before evidence. So how do you do that practically? You start with your nervous system. You cannot access a light timeline if your body is still wired for crisis. That's why so many manifestations fail, not because the desire is wrong, but because the body says this feels unsafe. So we regulate, we breathe, we move. We create rituals that calm the system and open the field. Then we ask, what does the version of me on my highest timeline feel like? And we begin to train the body to feel that now. This is not imagination, it's integration. It's not faking, it's frequency rehearsal. The third secret is light anchoring. This is one of the most overlooked manifestation techniques in the world. It's not about manifesting things, it's about anchoring light codes into the physical. Light codes are real. They are energetic patterns that carry divine intelligence. They come through dreams, downloads, synchronicities, and sudden ideas that feel like lightning in your soul. When you receive one, don't just write it down, build something with it. Speak it, share it, dance it, tattoo it if you have to. The more you anchor the light, the more physical your manifestations become. Because reality is always reflecting your willingness to bring the invisible into form. You might have noticed that when you ignore your inner guidance, things feel stagnant. But when you follow even the most bizarre nudge, reality opens up like a flower in the sun. That's light anchoring in action. Your intuition is not random, it's a GPS programmed by your higher self. And when you trust it, you manifest faster because you're no longer resisting the current of your own destiny. You stop asking, what should I do? And start asking, what is already unfolding that I need to align with? Let me ask you something radical. What if your manifestation isn't late, but your identity is? What if your destiny is already complete in the quantum field, but you're still showing up as the version of you who doubts it? This is the kind of question that light chosen ones ask. Not to judge ourselves, but to liberate ourselves. Because we know that manifestation isn't about control, it's about congruence. It's about becoming so aligned with the divine version of us that reality has no choice but to mirror that light. Another hidden technique is emotional transmutation. Most people try to manifest by suppressing emotions they don't like. But light-chosen ones know the truth: your emotions are not blocks, they're portals. Every negative emotion holds a hidden frequency of power. Anger becomes clarity. Grief becomes depth. Fear becomes presence. We don't bypass these emotions, we alchemize them. We sit with them until they dissolve into wisdom. And then we use that wisdom to fuel the next version of our identity. I remember one night I cried for hours, not because something bad happened, but because I was finally releasing the version of me that thought I had to earn love by being perfect. That grief wasn't a breakdown, it was a breakthrough. In that moment, I reclaimed energy that had been frozen in my emotional body for years. And the next day, I manifested a conversation that changed the course of my purpose. That's not coincidence. That's coherence. When your emotional body is clear, your manifestation field becomes magnetic. Light-chosen ones also practice energetic neutrality. This doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being unattached. We hold the vision, but we release the grip. We trust that what is meant for us cannot miss us, and what misses us was never meant to stay. This neutrality creates space, and space is where the divine operates. When you stop needing your manifestation to prove your worth, you become worthy now. And from that place, everything accelerates. Because nothing is more attractive to the universe than a being who is already full, already whole, already light. Now here's the advanced truth. The most powerful manifestation technique is not technique at all, it's remembrance. Remembrance that you are already connected to everything you seek. Light-chosen ones don't manifest by reaching, we manifest by remembering. We remember we are the source, not the seeker. We remember we are the miracle, not the mistake. And when we live from that remembrance, we stop manifesting from lack and start manifesting from legacy. So I ask you now, what would your life look like if you stopped manifesting from your wounds and started manifesting from your wisdom? What decisions would you make if you remembered that you are not waiting for your miracle, you are the miracle? What timelines would collapse the moment you stopped chasing and started choosing? These are not just questions, they are activations. And if you're still watching, still listening, still feeling this transmission deep in your cells, it means you're ready. Ready to access the techniques hidden in you since before you were born. Ready to stop settling for surface-level spirituality and start embodying the architecture of light. Your future is not in front of you, it's inside you. And everything you've been searching for is already encoded in the DNA of your soul. When we say yes to our light, we are not just stepping into a new life, we are stepping into a new dimension of reality. One where time moves differently, where the laws of manifestation are not bound by effort but by alignment. This is the dimension light-chosen ones are born to reclaim. The realm where your soul's architecture becomes your blueprint for creation. And this is where the real work begins, not the hard, draining kind of work, but the sacred, magnetic kind that feels like remembering something ancient, something you've always known but were conditioned to forget. Something that says, you are not here to follow the rules. You are here to redefine them. Let's go deeper into how we manifest differently. Most people think manifestation is about focusing on what they want. But light-chosen ones understand, it's about removing everything that makes you forget you already have it. This is the paradox. The more you chase what you want, the more you affirm that you don't have it. The more you embody it now, the faster it arrives. So we don't chase, we don't wait, we become. And this becoming is not a performance, it's a frequency shift that rewires the way the universe responds to us. One of our most powerful hidden techniques is sacred detachment. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is not pretending you don't care. It's becoming so anchored in your essence that you no longer need your manifestations to validate your identity. You already know who you are. You already feel whole. And from that place of overflow, everything flows to you. Think of the most magnetic people you've ever met. They weren't trying to impress. They were deeply present, deeply themselves. That's what sacred detachment looks like. It's the art of surrendering the outcome while intensifying the embodiment. There was a moment in my own life where I had to walk away from something that looked like a dream come true. It had the money, the recognition, the status, but it wasn't in alignment with my soul. And as a light chosen one, I couldn't afford to sell my light for temporary comfort. So I let it go, not because I didn't want it, but because I knew something truer was trying to come through. That decision cracked my old identity open. I cried, I doubted, I questioned everything. But within weeks, something miraculous happened. A new opportunity, perfectly aligned, found me not because I chased it, but because I made space for it. This is timeline mastery. This is the reward of sacred detachment. Next, we must talk about energetic architecture. You don't just manifest with thoughts or words, you manifest with your entire energetic field. Your aura is a blueprint. It tells the universe what you are available for. And every time you raise your frequency through truth, embodiment, and presence, you polish that architecture. You reinforce it. You make it magnetic. That's why we must be ruthless with our energy, not in a harsh way, but in a holy way. What you tolerate becomes your template. What you allow becomes your architecture. So if you want to manifest miracles, your energy must become a sanctuary for them to land. Here's something most people miss. The universe doesn't test you, it mirrors you. Every delay, every detour, every disruption is simply reflecting the frequency you're anchored in. So when something doesn't go your way, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this showing me about my field?" That shift in perspective is where our power lives. We don't react, we realign. And in that realignment, we collapse timelines that no longer serve us. We move faster, cleaner, lighter. Another secret weapon of light chosen ones is quantum honesty. This is the kind of honesty that goes beyond words. It's when your being becomes honest. Your emotions, your intentions, your energy. Are you really aligned with what you're asking for? Or are you trying to manifest something while secretly believing it's not possible for you? That dissonance is what blocks your blessings. But when you commit to radical, quantum honesty, when you say, "I refuse to lie to myself anymore," you break open the dam. You let the river of manifestation flow because you're no longer holding anything back. I had to learn this the hard way. I was saying all the right affirmations, doing all the rituals, but nothing was shifting. Until one day I sat with myself and asked, "Do I actually believe I'm worthy of this dream?" And the answer, hidden deep beneath the surface, was no. The truth hurt, but it also healed. Because now I could work with it. I could rewire it. I could bring compassion to the part of me that still felt unworthy. And in doing so, I became whole. And a few weeks later, the thing I was trying to manifest showed up without force, without struggle, just alignment. Let's talk about frequency fasting. This is another high-level technique that light-chosen ones use to amplify their power. It's not about starving your body, it's about detoxing your field. That means taking breaks from anything that lowers your frequency: social media, toxic conversations, doubt loops, even certain foods or environments. Frequency fasting creates space for new energy. It clears the static. It sharpens your inner guidance. When you fast from what's draining you, you begin to realize how much power was being siphoned from you without your consent. And when you reclaim that energy, your manifestations speed up like lightning. Here's a deep question only a light chosen one can hold. What are you still choosing that no longer matches your future self? What habits, relationships, thoughts do you keep entertaining even though you know they are not aligned with your highest expression? These are not judgments, they are invitations. And when you start saying no to what dims you, you are saying yes to what is divine. That's not just self-care. That's timeline engineering. At this point, you might be feeling the intensity rise. That's not by accident, because the deeper we go into this truth, the more your old self begins to dissolve. And that's the point. You don't manifest your destiny by adding more layers, you manifest it by shedding everything that is not truly you. So if you're feeling exposed, raw, emotional, that's good. That means the work is working. It means your light is activating. It means your field is becoming fertile for divine manifestation. Now we enter the sacred realm of vision anchoring. Most people daydream, but light-chosen ones anchor visions. That means we don't just think about our goals, we create energetic contracts with them. We say, I see you, I choose you, I become you. And then we build rituals around that commitment. We write, we speak, we move, we breathe in a way that reminds our nervous system, this is who we are now. Every day we water that vision with our attention. Every decision says, this is the timeline I'm feeding. And eventually, the vision is no longer a dream, it becomes the only reality we can hold. Have you noticed that some people seem to manifest effortlessly? It's not luck, it's congruence. Their inner world matches their outer desire. Their energy is not split, and that is the ultimate technique, energetic unity. When your mind, body, soul, and field all point in the same direction, manifestation is not delayed. It is demanded, magnetized by your coherence. That's the power of the light-chosen ones. We don't just believe, we become the belief. Let me give you one final technique before we transition to the final transmission. And this one is sacred, miracle calibration. This is the practice of preparing your field to receive beyond what you've ever imagined. Not just what you want, but what your soul knows is possible. Start by asking yourself, if a miracle landed in my life tomorrow, would I be able to hold it? Not just emotionally, but energetically, practically, spiritually? This question changed my life, because I realized I had been asking for miracles I wasn't yet prepared to receive. So I started stretching. I expanded my container. I upgraded my habits, my spaces, my conversations. I calibrated not to my past, but to my potential. And that shift opened portals. Things I had once thought were impossible became inevitable. Not because the world changed, but because I did. And now I ask you, with all the love and fire I carry, are you ready to prepare your field for miracles? Are you willing to stop playing small, not because you're arrogant, but because you're finally ready to be accurate about your power? Are you ready to step into the techniques that have been hidden in your light since before you were born? Now that you've said yes, truly yes, not just with your mouth, but with your being, we enter the final phase of unlocking what has always lived inside you. Because for light-chosen ones, the final manifestation technique is not a method, but a metamorphosis. It's the full transformation of identity, frequency, receptivity, and purpose. This is the moment where manifestation is no longer something you do, it becomes something you are. You become the living, breathing evidence that thought can become form, that energy can become matter, and that light can walk in human skin. In this final transmission, I will share with you the last and most sacred codes. These are not just teachings, they are initiations. They will ask something of you, not your effort, but your presence. Not your perfection, but your truth. Because manifestation at this level is not about getting what you want, it's about becoming who you were sent here to be. Every technique up until this point has been preparing you to hold the weight and the wonder of your divine assignment. And now we begin. The first final technique is what I call dimensional embodiment. This is not visualization. This is not even identity work. This is where you merge with the version of you that already exists in the dimension where your manifestation is complete. You must understand there are infinite versions of you living simultaneously across the multiverse. Every possible outcome of your life is already happening. The only question is, which version are you allowing yourself to become? Dimensional embodiment is the practice of collapsing the space between you and that version. So how do you do it? You start by asking, what does the me who has already manifested this feel like in their body? Not just mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. How does that version walk? Speak, think, love, create, and then you begin to live from that state. Not as a performance, but as a remembrance. Because when you embody that frequency, reality has no choice. It must rearrange to reflect the version of you that you are anchoring. This is not magic, it's mechanics. It's energetic law. The second sacred technique is divine neutrality. This is the state where you are no longer seduced by the highs or devastated by the lows. You become clear, centered, still. You manifest not from craving, but from knowing. You're not attached to specific outcomes, you're aligned with your highest timeline. And that alignment becomes your compass. Divine neutrality is not cold. It's not indifferent. It is the deepest trust. It says, I release control because I am already in communion with what is mine. In this state, your desires no longer feel like desperation. They feel like destiny. You don't chase, you attract. You don't force, you allow. You don't overthink, you receive. And the irony is, when you no longer need your manifestation to feel whole, it arrives with grace and speed. Because the universe is not responding to your need. It is responding to your match. And neutrality is the purest frequency match there is. The third technique is soul devotion. This is where manifestation becomes sacred. It's no longer about material things, it's about mission. It's about aligning your desires with your divine role in the evolution of humanity. When your vision is not just about you, but about what flows through you, you tap into a current of power that is immeasurable. The universe moves faster for those who remember their role in the larger story. And light chosen ones, we are not here to hoard blessings. We are here to distribute them. So you must ask yourself, how does my manifestation serve the collective? Not out of guilt or obligation, but out of purpose. Because when your desire is in service to the whole, it becomes unstoppable. When your wealth is meant to build the new world, it arrives with speed. When your love is meant to heal generations, it becomes magnetic. When your creativity is meant to awaken others, it becomes expansive. You are not manifesting for ego, you are manifesting for evolution. So you must ask yourself, how does my manifestation serve the collective? Not out of guilt or obligation, but out of purpose. Because when your desire is in service to the whole, it becomes unstoppable. When your wealth is meant to build the new world, it arrives with speed. When your love is meant to heal generations, it becomes magnetic. When your creativity is meant to awaken others, it becomes expansive. You are not manifesting for ego, you are manifesting for evolution. Now we move into the most advanced technique of all, light-body alignment. This is where your physical body, emotional body, mental body, and etheric body come into full coherence. This is where health, joy, peace, clarity, and power all begin to circulate freely through your system. Your light body is your divine instrument. And when it is tuned, you become a transmitter of miracles. You don't just receive them, you radiate them. To align your light body, you must move every day. Not just for fitness, but for frequency. You must breathe intentionally. You must purify your environment. You must speak words that nourish your nervous system. You must protect your energy like it is sacred, because it is. Light chosen ones cannot afford to live in cluttered environments, toxic relationships, or chaotic timelines. Not because we are better, but because we are builders. And builders must be clear, clean, and coherent to hold sacred architecture. Let me ask you something that will rewire your manifestation field forever. What would your life look like if you treated yourself as the most sacred altar on earth? How would you eat? How would you speak? How would you love? How would you create? This is not about rules, it's about reverence. When you treat yourself as sacred, the universe does too. It bends, it opens, it obeys, because you've become an energetic match for the divine. Another advanced code is grace acceleration. This is when you stop trying to earn your blessing and start receiving it. Light chosen ones were taught that we have to struggle to be worthy, that we have to heal everything before we're allowed to be happy, that we have to pay our karmic debt before we're allowed to enjoy our gifts. But here's the truth. Grace is not earned, it's received. You are not here to suffer your way into destiny. You are here to remember your way into it. The moment you stop fighting yourself, stop judging your pace, stop doubting your worth, grace enters. And grace is not passive. Grace accelerates. Grace takes you further than effort ever could. Grace rearranges timelines. Grace brings the right people, the right signs, the right miracles at the exact right time. Not because you begged, but because you remembered who you are. The secret is not to ask for grace. The secret is to allow it. Most people try to manifest by themselves, but light-chosen ones know we were never meant to do this alone. We are part of an ecosystem of light. And when we remember that, we stop being warriors and start being weavers. We weave timelines, we weave miracles, we weave new worlds. Not by force, but by frequency. Not by isolation, but by interconnection. So now I ask you one final time, are you willing to stop manifesting from the past and start manifesting from your light body future? Are you willing to stop asking how and start asking who? Who must you become to be the vessel for what is already yours? Who must you stop being to receive what your soul already knows is possible? Because your destiny is not coming, it's coded in you. Your manifestations are not outside you, they are echoes of your essence. And the moment you stop trying to be powerful and start remembering that you are power, everything changes. When time bends, reality listens. Your field becomes undeniable. You are not here to fit in. You are here to transmit. You are not here to manifest for validation. You are here to anchor heaven into earth. You are not here to get your desires, you are here to become the frequency that births new worlds.